vulnerability, right? Being in that I don't know space. These sometimes I feel like, no, these are loosely being used. In the it could be because of the social media or because of people like me, right? So it's been loosely used. But now that I am hearing that from you, from the practical perspective, right? Because you are walking the talk,
Right.
right? So when I'm looking at it everything falls down to how confident you are in showcasing your true self, right?
That is true. That is
That
true.
needs more courage.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Totally,
Uh,
totally.
yeah. So, Brené Brown says, she is known as the expert in that vulnerability space, right? She says you need more courage to be vulnerable because you are going to tell the
True.
world that, you know what, I do not know XYZ, right? But
True. True.
once that vulnerability is leveraged appropriately, I think we will be able to achieve, whatever we want to achieve quickly, right?
That is true. That is true.
And I also see why it has been difficult. Yeah. Nowadays, we need everything instant, right? Instant noodles, instant, we have Instamarts where the minute I order, before I keep
Things are
my
done.
phone down, I should have the guy, ringing my bell, right?
Yeah.
So there is
Yeah.
an urgency. There is an urge to complete everything now. The power of now is being kind of, utilized in a wrong way, right? So
Yeah.
everybody wants to do something now, right? Without having any plan in place, without understanding why they are doing what they are doing. I think that is also making people, to hide that vulnerability and then, show to the world that, you know what, I know everything. Yeah. So just believe me, sort of the face. So from your experience, how to navigate, this particular urge to have everything, this minute.
Mm-hmm. I think definitely not falling prey to the right now, immediately, at this moment kind of a thing. Right. And as you rightly said, not everything being shown on social media is true. It's only the glorious side of the stories that are being said. And the same people who are saying those stories have a lot of failures which they don't project. Um, it's extremely important to understand and acknowledge that life is a journey of a turtle, right? Not a rabbit.
Mm.
You go slow, but then you go so steady and solid. And sometimes it feels slow, but that slowness is important because you evaluate thoroughly, keeping in perspective your previous experiences. You always keep drawing upon your previous experiences and use them as your foundation, and then see how do you map those to attack your future, or strategize your future. For example, when I had to build my first data platform, I was a leader in a CRM space. I didn't know anything about data, but then this opportunity came and I had to build the data platform in GL Care. And then, not knowing that space technically fully, I had to lead it. The only way I went ahead was, I was a solid techie guy. I did a lot of programming in my early days. My fundamentals were super strong, and I picked up business knowledge very well, so I could connect the dots with how a particular thing, as a software manager, I do impacts the business. I used these fundamentals, and I started talking in terms of business outcomes and what should we do in terms of the platform. And I brought together the technology architects who can talk the technical language. But then I kept them all engaged and on track by questioning them. Okay, what value do we bring? How do we make this platform reusable? How
Mm.
do we build once, use multiple times? How do we scale? How do we start small and scale? So I was using all those basic fundamental experiences I got over the years, and using those as I went ahead and maneuvered this ambiguity of not knowing how to build a data platform. I picked up that skill along the way. And then today I became a data leader who can build a data platform and I can say, hey, I know it all. So you don't have to say that you know it all. You don't have to show yourself as a leader in that space always. You should definitely, though, bank upon your experiences till date, and make them as your basis, use them to connect the dots and move forward. I think that way, if we start looking at it, the threat to show yourself as an expert reduces. Even till date, I hire a lot of experts in my team in the data field. I tell them, hey, look, I don't know everything. And I very comfortably say it. I don't feel ashamed to say it. I very comfortably say it. But then they see a lot of value in me in terms of how I bring strategy into place, how I connect the dots, how I bring the business perspectives, how I bring the overall end-to-end program management experiences of doing things. So you can always establish yourself as a leader and get things done, but you have to build upon these experiences, and these do not happen overnight. This is a journey. Life itself is a journey. So we should not fall prey to the instant success. It's good to motivate people by telling, hey, this is how quickly you can do few things, but then it is not always true. Life is tough, life is slow, but then you can learn and stand up really tall if you have patience.
Wow. That's a profound share, Kiran. You know, how I am interpreting what you said, right? When you are put in a position to say, you know what, I do not know all, right? Better to take a pause and understand what you know in that space. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So once you know what you know, then it becomes easier for you to tell, you know what, I do not know ABC. Because the minute they ask you some questions, you can always say, you know what, I know these. I know 1, 2, 3. Let's bring in 1, 2, 3 and ABC together, create whatever we are supposed to create, right?